Welcome back, gamers. As I promised before in my last video, or I should say Let's Play video on Super Ghouls and Ghosts. Oh, God, that game was so frustrating as hell. I want to get it out of my mind. It zombified me to death. It made me howl to the moon in frustration. So, why not check out an actual Halloween-oriented game, which I think is pretty appropriate. Castlevania Lords of Shadow on Xbox 360. Yeah, I said before I talked about a lot of Castlevania games, but God, I can't get it out of my mind. But yeah, we're stepping into the third dimension with Castlevania games. And as you know, when they stepped into the third dimension in 3D games, when they did the N64 game, it was met with a lot of mixed criticism and reactions. A lot of people weren't too crazy about its third dimensional leap. Because, well, it suffered bad camera anglings, and it was just not made for that kind of thing. And the N64, as we know, oh God, I shouldn't even be talking about this. Just watch the AVGN video on it. And let me talk about this one, which I know he also talked about too, but I'll give it more brief description. And excuse the lack of gameplay footage. Obviously, I'm not doing too much of that anymore. But my honest opinions are, it's actually a lot better, and it's a huge improvement over the lousy N64 game. I wasn't too crazy about that one either. I actually enjoyed this one. I didn't really know what to expect, but I've played a lot of other games like Assassin's Creed and Gears of War and such. But yeah, that's what it mostly felt like. I'd say for the most part, the graphics and cutscenes are actually pretty damn good. It has a lot of color variety to it, and the narration by Patrick Stewart is very well done. And of course you play as this one character who of course has a whip. So it's a huge step forward over N64 game, because your whip actually does a lot of damage. You can get upgrades and different powers and such. So again, if you play it and you notice some of the gameplay, you may notice that it really, again, doesn't feel like your typical side-scrolling Castlevania adventure. I mean, Christ, none of that does. I guess they had to make some sacrifices here and there to make it, you know, leap into the third dimension. But what are you going to do? It's Castlevania. May not feel like it did back in the day, but that's how it is. Gotta make some sacrifices, right? No sacrifice, no victory. May not be clearly the greatest adventure game, because there are a few problems with, like, concerning camera anglings. Yeah, like in Mortal Kombat Shaolin Monks, it has the same issue with the camera angling. It may not play a huge part in the game and get in the way, but eventually at some parts, when you do jumping and platforms and such, that's when it could become a real problem and get in the way of everything. I kind of wish there was a soundtrack rather than just dead silence. I mean, in some parts, I wish there were enemies in the game. But when you get towards enemies and you have to keep slashing them, yeah, it can get rather monotonous. And even the boss fights, if you never played this game, it does have a real learning curve to it. Because, you know, you expect it to be a regular boss fight where every time you hit them, they should go down, right? But no, you gotta time it at a certain timely manner with this circle crap, and because if you don't, then they can regain some of their health, and then you have to fight them again, and that can really piss you off. I've played this game on easy mode, and trust me, even then it can be really difficult. I mean, the first boss might seem hard at first, but then as you get further on in the game, wow, it'll feel like child's play at that point. Because then you get the ones with giant statues, and wow. Because then you gotta keep holding on, and it takes a lot of patience to get through some of these fights, let me tell you. The jumps and leaps and all the cutscenes when you break through glass, it's pretty cool actually, I like it. I'm a huge Assassin's Creed fan, as you know. I haven't reviewed any of the games yet, but I'll try to later on. But, you know, so I'm fascinated by these ideas, and the colorful graphics, as I said before, it's very appealing to the eyes and the nature. So, now, the problems I don't like about this game are, if you're, you know, too accustomed to the original Castlevania games, the puzzle solving. Not too crazy about this stuff. I suck at it. I just go online, look at YouTube video walkthroughs, and that's how I solve it a lot easier, because I'll never be able to solve all this stuff. I suck at these. Are you kidding me? I know this is trying to make it sort of like a Legend of Zelda, but God, these are annoying as hell. Then there's ones that I didn't know you have to fight certain enemies, or And then when, because like I said, when you're trying to solve a puzzle and enemies keep popping up, it could really get in the way of everything, and it can get really annoying. And there's some points you have to work together with like a teammate or something. And again, it can get annoying, when you have to protect that person. Because, like I said, there's parts where I can get lost. And it could be blamed on bad camera angling. But, it is what it is. As soon as you get to most of the boss fights and past all that nonsense, it's overall a very enjoyable game. I would highly recommend it. As I said, I just warned you about some of the flaws, but if you can get over all that, it's a very enjoyable game. It's appealing to the eye, and it's a fun game. Definitely better than the crappy N64 game, if you agree with me on that one. But overall, decent leap into 3D. I give it credit for what it is. Overall, my final verdict, one Wii Remote Wii Motion Plus up and one Wii Remote up. Yeah, plain Wii Remote up. I think that's fair enough. So, till next time, happy gaming. Happy Halloween.